Hi, welcome to After Hours with Wendy and Friends. I'm Mary Glassman, former First Selectman and Vice Chair of Simsbury Community Media. I have the pleasure today of talking to our First Selectman, Wendy Maxtudis, who's going to give us a status on the state of the town. So welcome, Wendy.
Hey, Mary, how you doing?
Thanks for taking time to get together today.
Sure.
I thought we'd start with a little background. You're currently in your second term as First Selectman after serving one term on the Board of Selectmen. So tell us how you got involved in town government.
Okay, so I was never political. I didn't pay attention to the news or really local politics, unfortunately. But in 2016, like many people, I had that awakening of what was going on and I got involved. I volunteered for Chris Murphy's campaign and then I found out about you running for Congress. So I joined and volunteered locally with Lisa Hebner, who was your campaign chair, Melissa Osborne, who was also running. And then there were some openings on the local boards and commissions. I went in trying to be on the Board of Ethics, and I ended up on the Board of Selectmen.
Well, that's great. And it'll be interesting for people to hear about how they can get involved and why you got involved. And I know your background was as an IT professional. And so tell us a little bit about how that background has helped you in your role as chief elected official.
Okay, so I've worked at both Travelers and Optum, which is part of United Health Group, over pretty much a 25-year IT career with a gap in the middle as a stay-at-home mom. But as an IT professional, you've been a project lead, I've been a team leader, I've had staff, I've had to keep projects on track, build some collaboration. So that's really helpful in this job. The other thing that I would give this shout out to all IT professionals is you've got to be logical and use common sense in what you do and in problem solving. So that's definitely helpful as a elected official.
And how about with town website or town systems? Has that been helpful too?
Yeah, so it's obviously been a point. We all know the website needs improvement. Our board has made that a priority to focus on some additional technology. We're bringing in ClearGov, which is a budgeting software. So that creates a digital budget book, and eventually everyone will be able to see the budget in more of an interactive way on our website. That's not going to happen this year, but we've started with the capital piece. So that's an initiative that we've pushed forward and will happen over the next few years. Enhancing the website. I know there's a lot of frustration out there. It's hard to find stuff and people have to search and you don't always get the results you want. So we're trying to get a new website and platform up there. So those kind of things will help. And those are kind of close to my heart because anything technology I love.
Yeah, that's great. And it'll bring more budget transparency to the public, which is always important.
It would be great, yeah.
So I think people might be interested. I know we've all come out of the COVID pandemic, but what was it like and what were some of the challenges during the COVID pandemic that you had to deal with as in office?
So I got elected in December of 2019, right? So I had 3 months as an outward-facing elected official, and then we were behind the scenes. But I do give a lot of credit to our town manager and staff, and also the state, because they put in place a lot of policies and ways to keep business or the town business running. So the town manager was able to provide services to the community by doing creative staffing options. That was really helpful, so I give her a lot of credit for that. I do remember going to my last Board of Finance meeting. I think it was March 17th, and that was the first time there was any social distancing. They had all the chairs set up that we couldn't sit next to each other, and that was the last time I sat next to my peer Jackie Bados on the board, because from that point on, we were on Zoom. We did do a couple of events in town where we had test kit distributions, and Public Works helped facilitate that with emergency management teams. And if you remember people driving through and picking up their, I think it was test kits, right?
Yep.
And then there were also ways to get masks. Main Street Partnership played a big role in the business community, making sure that everybody had, what was the term, for masks and the preparation, that kind of stuff. I can't even remember it now. But making sure that everybody had that and that we were able to bring outdoor dining to town and things like that. So there was a lot of community effort also to keep people engaged, ordering food, picking up food at restaurants outside. Remember doing all that? Sure. So that was a really weird time for all of us.
Do you think the town was very well prepared because of some of the things that you've put in place, the volunteers or the emergency response teams?
Yeah, I think I do give a lot of credit to how the town reacted to that, and how we picked up. We really didn't miss a beat as far as our board did, because we jumped right to Zoom. And we were able to communicate with the town. The Public Safety Committee met weekly during that time. So there was always an 8 o'clock meeting on Thursday. Sean Askin was the chair at the time, and you got to hear from all the professionals in town what was going on. Yeah. So there was really good communications. So I think the town did a really good, as did the state, in my opinion.
That's great. So aside from making it through the pandemic, what are some of the other initiatives that you're proud of that in your term as first selectman?
So I always go back to is the American Rescue Plan Act. We were given over 2 tranches of time, a total of $7.5 million, right? As all of this country, across the country, but specifically to Connecticut, all the towns got money, and we were able to use it in ways that didn't create budget cliffs. One of the initiatives was that I really pushed was to use the money for capital projects, so that we could make sure we were investing in the community. We were providing things that people wanted to save taxpayer dollars.
You have some examples?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
Things that people might know of? Or?
Yeah, so I would say one of the things that we learned at the time was getting our service dog Clifton, because we were seeing that was happening across the country, that it was really beneficial to have that as a comfort to people in town. So it wasn't a lot of the funding, it was really nominal funding, but that was one of the things that was something that we paid for. We did put a lot of emphasis on parks, just to enhance the park so people would be outside more and stay engaged and not just sit home. A lot of the money went to the Flower Bridge expansion, because that was really important, and that was a high cost ticket item, and we felt that would bring people back and out to town.
And that's being painted now? And
so the project is going to be done in time for the Flower Bridge people to get their flowers out this spring.
That's hot off the press, because everybody's wondering when they could get back on that bridge.
I know. I think there's something that was restricted because of the cold weather, and they were putting it off. But it's according to Tom Roy, it's on target to be done for the spring. Another thing that we did that I'm pretty happy with is that we focus on Terrafill as a target. To try to enhance that community as a resource. We have the park there. We have the East Coast Greenway coming through Terrafill, so that would bring people through town and see the beauty of the river and all that kind of stuff. We also funded a plan of looking at Terrafill. There was consultants to what is the best way to use the resources in that town. So those are a couple things that I'm really excited about. As far as that. The other thing that we've done is we put together a policy commission on housing. So everybody here is housing.
Okay. And they're meeting now, so folks interested should look.
There's a meeting tonight, actually. You're welcome to go. They're kind of finalizing the proposals. Some of them are going through zoning, so we may be pointing to zoning and saying these are things zonings are doing, and they are doing them. But that's this has been something that I'd wanted to do for a few years, and this board, our current board, enabled that to happen. So I think that was really good. A couple other initiatives, we're just talking general initiatives, is the town manager is, and with the support of the board, we're establishing a separate HR department in town hall. So HR used to be embedded in the town manager's office. We did have an HR person, but we're trying to create a separate HR department, just like in a corporation. You have somewhere to go to work out your problems that are not to your leadership, right? And Mark Nelson, our town manager, really supported that. Lee Erdman, our interim, also supported that, and this board voted to get employees to do that.
That's great. And it's great to hear about the funding that was not used for the budget, because I know a lot of communities are facing cliffs right now in their budgets. They built it into their budget for positions, and now, and it's great to hear that Simsbury is not faced with those challenges.
Yeah, we're also not faced with the challenge. I think the deadline for spending is that you have to have your money committed soon, and spend it by a certain amount of time, and we've already merged it into everything else. So it's kind of transparently blended in with all the initiatives. So I think it was a good way to do it.
And so while the town doesn't have that issue of the cliff facing them, there are a lot of pressing issues. You're right, in the middle of budget process right now. So maybe you could share a few tips on what's happening. What are the issues?
So we're working on the 25-26 budget right now. I know our town manager, finance director, budget director are right now working really hard to get the budget to us for Monday night. There's so many infrastructure needs in town, right? We have the aging school system. Last night, Jeff Tyndall, the chair, said the most recent school was built in '69. So we just renovated Latimer, but that was like $38 million of cost,
big ticket
right?
item. Yep.
So it's a big ticket item. So we're looking at those things and trying to figure out how we can fund them. We had 2 large tax increases over the last 2 years. So trying to figure out how not to do that this year, but continue providing services to the community. So it's really, another issue is, where's the new revenue coming into the community?
Right.
People don't want growth, but if we don't have growth, we don't have grand list, and we don't have revenue to pay for the services that they want.
So it's always a balance.
Yeah, you know that. I mean, it's a balance all the time. And, we need to do, paving and sidewalks and all that kind of stuff. And salary costs are going up, right? Healthcare costs are going up. So how do we manage that without getting more revenue in town?
Right. So as the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance work on the budget process, it's February. Can you tell us a little bit about what the public can do to get involved, where they can learn more information?
Yeah. So Monday night is a Board of Selectmen meeting, and our town manager will present the town manager's budget. Okay. It's a little different this year. We're trying out a different process than we've used in past years, and we're going to see if it works, right? On February 24th, the Board of Selectmen will have the budget, and it will be in our hands to make changes to what's in there. We have some guidance from the Board of Finance, which we will try to meet, so we don't have the budget returned to us later to tighten it up. But I would say to people out there will be public hearings in April on the budget. Make sure you go to those and speak up. You can watch our meetings and other meetings on SCM right here on channel SCM. You can speak up at public audience, and you can also vote on the budget, and you can vote in municipal elections because it's an election year too. So if you don't like what you're seeing, you could vote for different people. And the other thing is there's multiple openings, always openings on boards and commissions. Get involved so you can have a say and you can kind of understand how local government's working.
Got it.
Right?
So a couple of key dates: February 24th for the Board of Selectmen, April public hearings, and then the vote will probably be in May on the budget.
And Monday night is the town manager's budget.
And the
so
town
if you want
manager's
to
budget.
tune in to see what we're getting, we haven't seen it yet. We've done some work on capital, trying to rank some of the capital projects, but we haven't done it as a group with the whole thing.
Yeah.
So those are the key dates, and then Board of Ed is also having a workshop, I think, this weekend on their budget. If you're interested in the details.
Great. That's great. So you mentioned earlier, the challenge, the balance between, buying what for the services that town needs versus, paying for those services. And one of the ways that you can pay for it is with grand list growth, as you said. So are there any economic development initiatives that you see coming down the pike that might provide some relief for that?
Yeah, I can name a few. So if you were watching, the International Skating Center came to zoning, maybe the last meeting, and what they're doing, the land between the skating center and Dorset Crossing was zoned as industrial. I think they took half of that to make it a commercial zone because they plan to do a lot of enhancements up there because they're growing and they see a lot of need for people coming to the skating center. So like a little commercial village of some sort is kind of, I don't want to speak for them. So that would be great because the North End to me is an untapped area for growth. We have improvements to downtown, right? The Performing Arts Center, we've helped fund the expansion of the Next Act. And we see that as a driver to bring people to town, along with the apartments that will be going in next door. So there'll be people living downtown, using services downtown. The Flower Bridge renovations right? People come
great.
there, weddings, dinners, they want to join in there. We are getting a new retail plaza up again out by Big Y with a drive-through Starbucks and a drive-through Chipotle for those who like those, and then some sort of retail piece that's going to go there. And I do want to just say right here that we will, as far as I know, we will never get a Trader Joe's in Simsbury.
Okay, that's a question I see people asking all the
same.
time.
But I think you have to be near a highway, and we're kind of too convoluted to get here for that. So those are things that I know about. There's probably stuff starting up that I'm not looped in on. But
that's great. Well, I know you mentioned the skating center. Our condolences go out to the skating community and the loss, a tragic loss of their coaches.
I do want to
you were involved in a memorial there.
Yeah, I did go.
I
did. I didn't know the skaters, but we have a good relationship with Kelly and people at the rink, and I had two hockey players in my family, so we spent all our time there, especially in those years. But I do want to say to you, you were one of the initiators of the skating center.
That's ancient history, but yeah, I think it was 30 years ago. That was started.
But that was really kind of visionary, I think. So I would give you a lot of credit for that.
Wendy.
Sure, of course.
So if we're running out of time, and I know that you're a busy lady. You've got the Board of Selectmen, you've got town manager, you've got family obligations, but I know that you're also active outside our borders, and you have some things going on. So tell us, how do you manage it?
So first of all. As for selectmen, I'm part of CCN, the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. So I get to go to meetings and learn what's going on at the state. And they are kind of the lobbying board group for the towns to the state legislation. So there's a lot going on there. Also, as a chief elected, I'm on the policy and executive committees of CROG, the Council of Governments, which we don't have counties here, but these guys act as communities. We've also just started a chief elected kind of give and take meeting. So we're rotating, and it's really nice to just be with other chief electeds. And then we also have the Farmington Valley Collaborative that we meet with just our local towns to talk about what's going on. So I really try to stay connected because it's really good that people know somebody from Simsbury is out there and who put a face with the name. And I've met a lot of people out there for selectmen, mayors, town managers, that it's really helpful.
Great. And tell us, you're also in school, going back to school, so maybe share.
So I'm going to give a plug for UConn. I am in the executive MPA program at UConn, and it meets on Saturdays. It's a 2-year program. And, I found out about it because if you're 62 and over, which I am, you can go to school and get a degree for free in the state of Connecticut.
Oh, I bet a lot of people don't know that. So
no,
that's great
to
share.
Yep. So it's the tuition for that is free. You can go for any other master's. You cannot go for a JD, is what I imagine, or probably a medical career. But I'm in the program, and I love it. Going back to school, I don't think I took college very seriously or high school very seriously. And it's really learning a lot about public administration. So it's supporting what I'm doing. I'm seeing what happens on the administrative side more to help me do a better job. One thing that I was a business major, so this is kind of rounding out the other side. And I have to say that I love my cohort. I have people that work for the state in the comptroller's office, work for Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services. We have a deputy fire chief from West Hartford. We have somebody that works for Chris Murphy's office, and many people that are on nonprofits.
That's great.
So it's a really great group, and it's really fun, and I'm graduating in May, so I'm really excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think we're out of time, and it's been great to visit with you. I didn't know if you wanted to add anything, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I wanted to add a couple of personal touches, if I could, because as you know, I'm trying to balance it all. As Mary knows, you have to balance your life with this job, and her job was a lot harder back in the day in the old form of government. But I have a 7-month-old puppy at home named Mabel, who's a Great Pyrenees Husky cross, and we're dealing with that right now. We lost our dog this summer, which we've just been through it. Yeah. Getting a new puppy is not easy. I have my daughter Leah, is the class of '08 in Simsbury High, is getting married this summer.
Congratulations.
And we're all excited about that. And I just want to also say that she invited me to her bachelorette in Vegas to go see The Dead at the Sphere.
So you're going?
I'm going, baby. Right. And just one thing, I just want to say that, I've lived here since 1987. We didn't plan to move here. We're both Connecticut residents, but I can't see living anywhere else. And I feel that all of us in Simsbury, I know it sounds corny, but we really all have this personal connection from growing up here with our kids and our families. And, I'm just thankful that I ended up here.
That's great. Well, thank you. Thanks, Wendy, for joining. And thanks to all of you for joining Wendy and Friends. I just want to give a quick plug to Simsbury Community Media. We are very fortunate to have volunteers who cover a lot of the boards and commissions meetings, but we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for donations. So please check out our website and come on down. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
For over 40 years, SCM
has been the voice of our town,
bringing us together through local programming,
education,
and live broadcasts.
SEM isn't just about television.
It's about empowering our community,
ensuring our voices are heard during government meetings,
and celebrating milestones
like our high school graduations.
But today, SEM faces a challenge.
Our funding structure is based on television subscriptions.
And it's no secret, people have been cutting the cord.
With a shift to internet-only subscriptions,
SEM receives less revenue,
even though all our programming is freely available online.
We need your support.
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 Your donation can make a difference.
It will ensure that SCM remains open,
continues to educate our youth,
and keeps our community informed.
Thanks to SEM, I've been honing my creative skills, helping me work towards my college degree.
SCM is crucial for keeping our community connected.
SCM isn't just here to broadcast local events. They're actually preserving Simsbury's history.
Join us.
Join us in preserving Simsbury's voice.
Simsbury's voice.
Together we can ensure that SCM continues to thrive
for generations to come.
Visit our website
or scan the QR code on your screen to make your donation.
Every contribution
counts.
Thank you for supporting Simsbury Community Media,
where your town,
your schools,
and your government
come together.